Welcome to the new health. As people are getting sicker at younger ages, we are bringing thought leaders in to talk with you about how they are revolutionizing healthcare and making change in the world. I'm your host, Jessica Preston. Back with us today is Josh Rimany, pharmacist turned functional medicine provider and practitioner who is training pharmacists on how they can help people get unprescribed, deprescribed from their medications and heal their own bodies and find greater depths of health and wellness. Thank you for coming back with us today, Josh.
Oh, thank you so much, Jessica, for having me back. This has been so fun and so meaningful for me.
Same for myself as well. I love how you're doing this work in pharmacy where people are not doing this work. I mean, medical providers are working in their spaces. You're seeing people from so many offices, though. Your exposure can be so much greater, and now you're training pharmacists as well.
Yeah, I'm on a mission, like I said, to deprescribe 1 million unnecessary medicines. So how do we do that? I can't do that myself. This thing is bigger, right? Mm-hmm. And we're at this precipice of this new age of medicine where I call it going from sick care to health care to well care to now true healing. Mm-hmm. And now we're right there. We're like, it's so exciting to be, like, it get tingles through my body because I know that the science is catching up to all this ancient wisdom that we've already known, and now we're merging it together with this beautiful word, and.
So let's talk about and let's talk about where you see healthcare going.
I've used the and principle. It's actually my 24 word. I don't know why that word came up, but it's got this deep meaning. We think it's this tiny little word, but we live in this polarity of a world where it's this or that. It's Western medicine, Eastern medicine. It's traditional medicine or holistic medicine, but it's really the merging of all of this. This is why I love talking about ancient wisdom meets modern science, merged together for true healing. So it's this plus this equals this. And that philosophy has served me well. It serves me in the pharmacy world too. I always say when I teach the pharmacies, do what's best for the patient and the business at the same time, all the time. When you get that philosophy, because if we're not in business, we can't help people. Right. And when we become, I believe profit is the side effect of success, not the driver. But what we have in our healthcare system today that's broken is it's a system of health is a business first, making money to then help people. And that's why I got into my own business to begin with, because I've never been that way. I'm purpose forward. I'm passion forward. So if I help more people, which gets more profits, I can put more energy into research and development, which can bring more programs in. Jim Collins of Good to Great, he talked about the philosophy of the flywheel. How do we move this thing so it's a perpetual flywheel of getting more people healthy? So how do I train an army of pharmacists, but I only need 4% of the entire pharmacy world to get to where we can actually make I call it putting a dent in the universe.
Okay, I love that, putting a dent in the universe. So that's great. So you are working in this space where you're training pharmacists to learn this. And my presumption is people are fairly hungry for this. I mean, especially when you have a biochemistry background and you really understand that when you're treating with a prescription medication frequently, then you're treating with another one for a side effect or because you haven't reached a goal.
We didn't talk about nutrient depletion, right?
No,
The drug-induced nutrient depletion.
Yeah.
But the thing is, pharmacists, I've been training them for a while, but they're also, it's the same place as the patient. They're receptive because they've got their own journey. So one of the principles, it's the Beyond the Pills Collective. It's a movement, it's a mentorship. I mentor, I train on personal development, professional development, and business development, because there's a business model that needs to shift here. Mm-hmm. Pharmacists need to be more like providers and help patients through this journey alongside of them, being their guide. So there's all of that happening. So pharmacists have to go through their own health journey too. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big, my podcast is Beyond the Pills, and I interview lots of providers that have gone through their own ascension and their own healing journey, and then they go and help other people. Because when you're in wellness, you have to be a well person, right? You can't be in the space, but we're all in our own wounded healer journeys. There's nobody that's not going through their own health and wellness healing. But providers, if you're a doctor and you go, or a pharmacist, you don't take all the drugs and see what the side effects are. But when you're in wellness, you got to be a product of your own product. And so we bring pharmacists through their own journey. We call it the do you first philosophy. You're patient number one. Because well care is very different than health care. It's moving through the process of your own lifestyle. So you can't teach lifestyle change if you don't do the same things. But you also have to be vulnerable enough that we're all on this journey together, right? We're all helping our own stress and we're all improving our lifestyle because we're all imperfectly imperfect.
Right, that's it. And one thing that I remember learning a ways back is when you're with your provider, this is what kind of exercise are they going to tell you to do? It's going to be whatever they do.
Yeah.
So if your doctor is a runner and that you want to know what you need to do for exercise, they're going to recommend running first. If I'm a big yoga and mindful person, so I would say yoga first, and that's something we need to know. We need to learn what our space is, but as you said, the collective, you need to learn what all of those areas are so you can meet your patient where they are as well.
Well, that's why I call it a collective, and I've learned through my own experience as well is like I got real heady. Like in other words, like my intellect got in the way.
Yeah.
Like I could learn all the science and try to teach you the science and try to teach pharmacists all the science, but it's really teaching people through my own experience. So for me, I love riding my bike, I love getting dirty, I love going for hikes, so I teach through my experience. This helped me.
Yeah.
And it might help you, but do what you love.
Right.
Do what you love based on these principles. Make your own informed, confident decisions about your health once the information is there.
So let's just play with this a little bit. I know you're out there and you're changing lives on the pharmacy front. What do you envision as this future of healthcare or wellness care or healing?
The future of healthcare is moving towards a healing modality, not just sticking in the wellness and sticking in the physical body and fixing chemistry. We're moving to this place now where quantum physics is merging with lifestyle medicine, which is merging with the things that are backed by science. Like we're learning the science of actually we talked about like the placebo effect and what does that mean? How do we get patients? So my firm belief, this is how I think of it, my firm belief is the pharmacist or the pharmacy of the future is inside of you. We know that we can make a myriad of chemicals on thought alone, but how do we train and do how is this so Joe Dispenza's doing a lot of this work now with the mind-body connection and talking about energy medicine outside of woo-woo now. This is becoming real baked in science because our West world brains need to understand the science. So this things that have been happening with ancient wisdom for thousands of years. I've personally experienced my own health journeys. I've gone through all over the world, learning from shamans in Peru and Costa Rica, and experiencing plant medicines and psychedelic medicines. All of this is coming into play into the scientific world and moving the two together.
This is great. You had mentioned to me before the thinking brain versus the feely brain. So this is the and space, thinking brain and feeling brain. And how do people reconcile that? How is that happening?
Well, I think we're moving from the information age, this intellect, this thing that we keep thinking, we keep trying to make a bigger computer, like a quantum computer, but this is the biggest quantum computer we have. There's billions of transactions going on here, but we only use 10% of our brain. So we're unlocking our brain's fullest potential for true healing and connecting to this thing called energy and source and the collective, but it's all like quantum physics. So we can always bring it back down to science.
Yes.
It's not woo-woo, it's woo-woo meets science, right in the middle, right? So the thinking brain is science, the woo-woo brain is the feel.
Yeah.
Some people are more feely, some people are more sciencey. I kind of lean on science, but I'm moving into the feels.
Yeah.
I need
the
that.
science so that I can feel comfortable with the foot and the feely. but I need the science first. So quantum physics has been really monumental in my life as well.
I never thought I would be thinking about quantum physics and how it related to
To
health.
medicine.
Like, I just thought it was the quantum physicists and particle and wave.
That's it.
But it's literally moving down into the human body
Yeah.
and how it affects the right down to the cellular genetic level.
Yeah, the quantum physics just means super, 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 super small. That's what we're talking about, but physics we're still allowed to consider, as well as chemistry, biochemistry, biology when it comes to science and medicine. And so it's a natural fit at this point.
Which is like, so we have to talk, this is why I think it's really important. Like, the pharmacist of the future for me is a modern day medicine man. It's looking at the physical, it's looking at the chemistry, it's looking at the electromagnetic signals. We can do this with frequency medicine, so we can use technology now to affect this. So we're blending all this modern day science with all of the things we knew back in the day that we just sort of forgot because we thought we were smarter than that, but we're not. This is all ancient, we call it ancient wisdom, but it's timeless wisdom.
Yeah.
Like, getting out in nature is timeless, but it affects our biochemistry in the right way. So that's kind of how I look at the pharmacy of the future, is it's inside of us, and we need guides along the way. We need people to help us in this new era of healing, not fixing things and making you less sick.
Well, Josh, thank you for being one of those people. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate knowing you. I'm so glad that you joined us here on The New Health. I would love for you to share with everybody about your podcast and how people can find you.
Yeah, like for pharmacists, we do Pharmacist Night School, and I teach them wellness once a month. And so that's my professional freebie. My personal freebie is always rx2wellness.com and the Beyond the Pills podcast, and learning about this through other people's lenses. Thank you so much for what you're doing. This is such an impactful thing for the world.
Thank you so much, Josh. I hope you come back sometime and join us again.
I would be happy to.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned after these messages for our next guest.